I appear to be frozen. I'm trying to find out why. So feel free, either way. What is the purpose of a resume? How's that for a question at late in the afternoon on the East Coast? What is the purpose of a resume? Why do we have a resume? Why do we need a resume? All right, a couple of you gave me the answer I was looking for. Yes, it's to sell ourselves, but you know what? It's to get an interview. All right, that's what the purpose of a resume is. It's to get an interview. If the resume is properly worked on and put together, all right, it will get the phone call. All right, hey, Sally, I have your resume in front of me. Appreciate you sending it to me. I've reviewed it. I'm really interested in learning more about you. So, Sally, what are you doing tomorrow? Can you come in around 11 o'clock? Maybe we can chat for about an hour. I'd like to get to know you. I'd like you to get to know me and the company. And maybe if we have some time, we'll go out and have a bite to eat. So the purpose of the resume, that piece of paper, is to get the phone to ring, to get the interview. If the purpose of the resume is to get the interview, what is the purpose of the interview? Get the what? There you go, Kevin. Yeah, get the job. All right, 2 steps. Resume, step number 1, get the interview. Step number 2, interview, get the job. So we're going to be talking about steps 1 and step 2. So we do want to have a resume that captures the reader's attention. And one of the ways we do that is by creating what we call accomplishment statements or bullets that talk about our value. So part of our agenda is using the SOAR concept or SOAR technique to develop stories and be able to talk about them at the interview after they've read about them on our resume. Discuss the role that SOAR, it's an acronym, and I'll let you know what that runs and means in a moment, these statements play in your search project. Be able to craft accomplishment statements, bullets on your resume that support the skills that are targeted in your resume. So we're going to be talking about resumes, and we're going to be talking about interviewing. We're going to be talking about stories, whether they be written or they be talked about. That's our agenda, simply stated. So remember, the purpose of our resume is to get the interview. So what is SOAR? I brought it up about 4 or 5 times. Well, SOAR is an acronym. Hold on a second, everybody, please. All right, I apologize. Somebody was evidently talking over me, and we had to kind of make it a little bit quieter. All right, SOAR is an acronym. It's a technique, and it stands for, it means situation, obstacle, action, and result. That's what the acronym means. Some of you know about it. Other acronyms is STAR, very, very similar. So describe the situations you were faced with, possibly describe obstacles you possibly had to overcome, or maybe not. What did you do? List the actions you took, and finally, describe the results you helped obtain. The difference between a okay resume and a good resume that talks about your value is a resume that talks about what results, what you've actually been able to accomplish. Not the tasks, but the actual accomplishments. And that's basically our conversation for this afternoon, utilizing the SOAR technique to create interest, to get us that phone call. So why? That's the important question. Why is it important to be able to identify your accomplishments? Well, people want to know, and you have to be able to demonstrate your skills. And the skills that you demonstrate and your accomplishments have to be memorable. It is what you bring to the table. It's what you offer up. It's your ability to enhance your own personal self-confidence. Now, people aren't going to hire you or me or anybody else because we're good-looking, handsome, pretty. They're going to hire you because, they're spending money. They're investing in you. Right? They're going to pay you money, pay you a salary. So what is the return on investment? What are you going to be able to give them back in return? That's why it's important to be able to identify your actual accomplishments rather than tasks. How many of you have copies of your old past performance reviews? All right, everybody send me a chat. Do you have copies? And Robin, yes, STAR is very similar to SOAR. All right, so I'm seeing quite a few yeses, a couple of no's. Your past performance reviews are actually excellent ways or sources for you to help identify your accomplishments. Maybe 9 years ago, 6 years ago, 15 years ago, Your director, manager, vice president, whoever he or she was doing your annual review, hopefully said something complimentary and talked about your accomplishments during that previous year. So take a look, those of you that have them. Maybe you forgot that a couple of years ago you did something, you accomplished something. Maybe it needs to be added to your resume. Have you ever won any awards? Ever been recognized? Any recognition? Review your old job description. Do you have any recommendations? Do you have any compliments? What are people saying about you as far as LinkedIn? So have you received, or do you have any letters of recommendations? So these are good sources to help identify your accomplishments. So it's important for you to be able to identify them, and it's also important for you to know where and how to go about finding them. So as I mentioned before, those of you that have copies of your old past performance reviews, that's a good thing. It really is. Those of you that don't, it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle for you to have to think about some of your past accomplishments. All right, any questions? All right, no questions. We shall move forward. Well, how many of you have a full-length mirror behind your bedroom door? Think about it. Stand in front of that mirror, all right? Please stand in front of that mirror and ask yourself some questions. And there's some additional questions in CRN, and there is a book, and the book is called Managing a Search Project Book. I wrote it down here. The acronym is MYSP. Page 15, there are these questions plus some others that you may want to stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself, hey, how was my performance measured? How do I know I did a good job? Did I participate in any decision-making or planning? What contributions did I make to the team? And what were the results of my efforts? Notice I'm putting this into the first person. Did I write any major reports, any programs, publications, or even newsletters? Who were they intended for? Who was the intended audience? Did I possibly improve the efficiency of people operations? What were the savings? Did I save the company any money, any time? How much? What positive impact did I have or these savings have on the company? Did I possibly get involved? Did I automate, create new systems or procedures? How many people did I possibly work and train? How much money was involved in the automation? So take a look in our Managing a Search Project book. There's some additional questions you could kind of ask yourself, but these helps you think. It's kind of thinking outside the box. It really will help you think about your actual accomplishments. Now, one of you chatted me, how about our past review is outdated? It may be, June. If it is, it is. All right, I can't help you there. But there may be something you did, I don't know how many years back, but maybe you may find something in there. Take a look at it. All right, please take a look at it. You never know. You never know what may be lurking within those documents, those reviews. In the book, on pages 16 and 17, there's a template called Creating SOAR Stories. You could kind of print this if you'd like, or take it from the book, but figure out and think about what situations you were faced with, so describe the situations. Describe the obstacles you possibly faced. Fill in the blank. What actions did you take? And most importantly, what were the results of your efforts? And also, look at and think about what skills did I use to help accomplish and thus create a result. Now, whether you use the template in CRN, you copy it from the webinar later, or just go out and get a notepad. That's my personal recommendation. I do with my folks. I give them a notepad. I said, all right, write down the word situation. All right, skip a couple of lines. Write down the word obstacle. Skip a couple of lines. Write the word action. Skip another couple of lines and do the same thing for result. And fill in the lines. When you start to organize your thoughts in SOAR, S-O-A-R, things are going to start to happen. Things are going to start to make sense. So whether you use the template, use a notepad, or whatever method you like, you could do it in an Excel spreadsheet, in fact. Do what you want, all right? But as long as you do it, that's the important thing, all right? Do it. Doesn't matter how you do it, but just do it. Like Nike, right? What's Nike's slogan? Just do it. Creating powerful accomplishment statements. Be clear. Be tight. Be concise. Use strong action verbs. I'll show you a listing of quite a few action verbs. Be able to emphasize the actions you took, and there's the R, the results you achieved. Now, numbers pop. Let me type that in. As a hiring manager, when I read a resume, if there are numbers on it, they could be dollars, percentages, or just straight numbers. They pop. They're very easy for my eyeball to pick up. So keep in mind, everybody, numbers pop. So can you quantify a result, using dollars, percentages, or numbers? Can you qualify a result using terms such as significantly improved, substantially reduced, or even measurably increased? These are qualification statements. So take a look at your resumes as they are now. That's one of the reasons I wanted you to work on it. And ask yourself some of these questions and possibly fill in some numbers, considering numbers pop. Let me share the results of the poll. Let me kind of take a sidestep for a moment. All right, I see some very exciting news. Over 50% of you, all right, 54%, you have worked on and looked at your resume within the last month. I'm glad to hear that. There are 4 of you within the last year. None of you 1 to 5. There are 6 of you. That's been quite a while, and everybody evidently has a resume. So the good news is that within the last month, you've already started to work on this. That's positive. And for those of you in the last year or even 5 years ago, it may take you a little bit more effort and a little bit more time, but it's something that has to be done. All right? We have to talk about what we have accomplished. Now, here's a list of action verbs. Now, there are 2 editions of the book, one for USA and one for Canada, respectively page 45 and page 41. 5 columns of exciting action verbs to start your bullet statements. All right? Each of your bullets on your resume should start with a action verb, and we'll show you some examples in a moment. So if you'd like to print this list, some of you may have a thesaurus, some of you may want to use Microsoft Word, but try and think about action verbs to start your accomplishment statements. All right, any questions? All right, let's take a look at a very simple example of a resume. All right, here is somebody's professional experience section of their resume. This individual worked at Santini Foods in Chicago. They worked from 2000 whenever to present. Their title was VP HR. Their responsibilities were they ran the HR Human Resource Profit Center for the food and beverage business line of a global $20 billion consumer packaged goods company. That is not an accomplishment. That's a responsibility statement, overall responsibilities and duties. But let's take a look at their bullets, and I'm going to use that term now. We're going to use the term bullet and accomplishment kind of back and forth, all right, simultaneously. Provided strategic counsel during mergers and acquisitions regarding culture, integration, and human resource cost-benefit analysis. Notice I put a red line, all right? If there was a period after the word analysis, that would be a task, all right? Honestly, guys, that would be a task. But what makes it an accomplishment is that these were critical factors in the purchase decisions. Led the company through a comprehensive reengineering, work redesign, and process improvement effort, period. That's a task. Let's make it an accomplishment. It resulted in the cost savings and improved quality and efficiencies. Third one, negotiated. Those are verbs, compensation and benefit package during union negotiations on time for the first time in 12 years, period. Task. Well, what did it do? The result, net savings of $12 million over a 5-year period. That is the difference between a task and an accomplishment. All right? Both known as bullets, but one is a task, one is an accomplishment. So we want to develop these accomplishment statements using the SOAR, S-O-A-R technique, present them in bulleted format. Now, notice we're using round bullets, all right? You can use square bullets, check marks, wingdings. They don't necessarily work with electronic scanning equipment that many companies are going to and using. So please keep it simple. either solid round or solid square bullet marks. Let me jump down and I'll come back to the Create Master List. Select accomplishments that are most relevant to your target audience. How many flavors of ice cream does Baskin-Robbins have? Take a guess. Send me a chat. All right, most of you are correct. The correct answer is 31. Baskin-Robbins claims they have 31 flavors of ice cream. Guess what? You could have 31 flavors of your resume. Every resume needs to be tailored, mastered, tweaked, customized for the opportunity. A generic resume probably is not going to be beneficial. So depending on what company and why you're sending the resume to who it may be sent, you're going to select accomplishments that are relevant for that audience or that company. So one company, let's call them Company A, this would be select accomplishments for that company. Maybe Company B, different accomplishments. That's where you can have 31 plus or minus flavors of your resume. Now let's talk about creating a master list. I'd like to share an idea. Create a document. All right, everybody go into Microsoft Word sometime tonight and make up a document and name it My Accomplishments. All right, it'll be myaccomplishments.doc. I'd like you to then take your generic resume or any resumes you have and take all your bullet marks or your accomplishment statement bullets and put them into this document. All right, doesn't matter in what order it's in. Just copy and paste them. Then as you create customized resumes for new opportunities, you can pick and choose, which bullet, which accomplishments do I want to present for that opportunity. Now, sometimes you may have 5 accomplishments under one title on your resume. Maybe one is more important than another, so you have to prioritize your bullet marks, because if somebody's reading 5, they're going to pay more attention to the first couple and less attention to maybe the third or fourth or fifth. So by creating a document called My Accomplishments, now this is only for you, all right? Nobody else will see it but you. It's your mini database and how you can put together and customize your resume. It's a very easy way to do it. You're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of energy, and your customized resumes will be almost perfect. So think about creating this master list, only for you, and select those accomplishments for every specific opportunity. Now, we talk about the difference between a task and an accomplishment. Read a bullet. Everybody, if you have a resume out there, if you're kind of looking at a resume right now at the same time, read a bullet, all right, and ask yourself after reading it, so what? Or ask yourself, what if? Or ask yourself, who cares? And that may help you or stimulate you to think about the actual result. All right, so what? Well, I provided strategic counseling, all right, well, so what? Well, the so what is it created, these are now critical factors in the decision process. So what? It resulted in a cost savings. So what? It provided a net savings of $12 million. Do you kind of get it, guys and gals, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Do you kind of get the idea? Does it make sense? Please send me a chat. This is a thinking process, all right? I call it mental stimulation, all right? Mental stimulation. All right, great. I'm glad to see things are progressing. Create or generate a library of source stories for the interview. You're not going to get the interview, all right? That phone call is not going to come unless your resume gets you the interview. So your bullet marks, all right, your accomplishment statements written, have to get the phone call. Now, when you're at the interview, guess what? They want to know more. They already have seen a little. They've read about it, but guess what? They want to know more. That's when you become a storyteller. All right? Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. I already like what I see or read, but now tell me more. So read every bullet. Ask yourself either so what if, who cares. Generate a library of stories to verbally chat about and talk about during and at the interview. That's as simple as it gets. All right? Resume, get the interview, get the job. Write about it, and then be able to talk about it. All right, everybody, which group? All right, here are 2 groups, A and B. Which group of SOAR examples, all right, accomplishment statements, are more powerful? Send me a chat. I'm expecting 100% answers. You got it. More detail, more metrics. Yep. All right, everybody passed with flying colors. Definitely Group B. All right. Hopefully it makes a point. All right, it makes that point. So what? Who cares? What if? These are good examples. Group A is okay, but definitely Group B. All right, we have some homework, but we're going to do it now. All right, we're going to do some in-class homework. Here are a couple of samples, and I'd like you to kind of play with this a little bit. And we're going to talk about some things. And here's an individual. He was a supervisor, or she was. They needed a small database to set up an automated manual record-keeping system and to calculate costs. They had an obstacle, and that was they didn't really know a lot. They had a lack of knowledge in spreadsheet or database applications. Well, what did they do? Well, to get some knowledge, they took some online training, asked for help, coaching from colleagues to help set up the spreadsheet. What came from all of this, all right, the SOA, is the R. It was now completed, and they completed and learned the new database in spreadsheet format, reduced record keeping and calculation time by 80% from the previous manual method. All right, there's a scenario. What I'd like to do is give you guys 5 minutes. All right, 5 minutes of quiet time. I'd like you to put together, all right, if you were the coach, all right, and I came to you with this scenario, how would you write my resume? How would you write the bullet mark? How would you write the accomplishment statement? It could either be, I'd like you to keep it short, keep it simple, KISS. Keep it to 1 or 2 sentences at the most. All right, I prefer 1, but if you could do it in 2, that's all right also. So create a resume, bullet mark, accomplishment statement based upon this scenario. All right, give you guys 5 minutes. And then what I'd like you to do is, after you've done it, type it out, send it back to me in the chat box, and I'll review them. All right, as many as I can. We may not be able to review them all for time, but we'll do as many as we can. All right, here we go. 5 minutes. All right, hopefully everybody's working on this little class assignment. And when you're done, let me see it. Shoot it over. Send it over in chat. All right, don't break it down. All right, Robin, don't break it down as you see it by SOAR. Let me have one sentence to put it all together in one sentence. All right. All right, Joe. Develop database to track manual records, reducing calculation time by 80%. Took an online training course. Whoops, here we go. Oop, my screen is jumping. Bear with me. Took an online training course to accomplish the developmental work. Good. Computerized new database to automate manual records and calculate costs, increasing productivity for record keeping and calculation time by 20%. All right, that was Lisa. And Laura created database to automate records and calculate costs, reduce time from previous method by 80%. They're all good. All right. Here's a real simple one from Melissa. Developed a database that resulted in 80% time saving. Another one, Sherry, research, developed and implemented a new system, reduced record keeping time by 80%. And Mary, automated record keeping of critical records using spreadsheet application, resulting in a reduction in calculation time by 80%, which enabled the company to reduce overtime spending. Okay, a little variation. Another one from Sarah, automated manual records into a small database, which resulted in 80% decrease in record keeping and calculation time. All right, so forth, quite a few. Good, you guys are really working today. Very proud. Good. All right, let me show you a couple that we worked on, and these you'll be able to have as additional examples. Number one, very similar to what each of you did. Reduce record keeping and calculation time by 80% after promptly learning a spreadsheet application to create a new automated database process. All right, there'd be a bullet mark right in front right here. All right, that would be the way it'd be on the resume. Bullet number two, promptly learn a new spreadsheet application to create a new automated database. Reduce record keeping and calculation time by 80%. Another bullet is a simple one, very similar to the one that we just read. Computerized manual record keeping system, reducing processing time by 80%. All right. Do you get the idea? Everybody send me a chat. All right, good. All right, guess what? We're going to do one more. All right, here we go again. Here's another situation. All right, scenario. Individual was approached and asked to write a customer master instructional manual prior to a new system implementation and run a new systems training sessions. He or she had minimal experience writing a detailed document. Well, what did they do? They researched and co-authored customer manual for the users across the company. This was used in training sessions per new system implementation as a guide, custom tailored for the company users. They scheduled training sessions, assisted in training, and provided individual instruction and support, which enabled the users to fully understand the new process. The result, there it is, the big R, significantly reduced startup problems internally, eliminated about 50% of the customer issues, increased customer satisfaction, increased product sales of the new system by 15%. All right, it's up to you now. Do the same experiment. All right, give you guys 4 or 5 minutes. We'll do a little bit faster. All right, there it is. Situation, your obstacle, the action, and the results. Put it into a 1 or 2 sentence bullet. All right, everybody work on that for a couple of minutes. And whenever you're ready, send them over. Shoot them over to me. All right, here we go. Melissa, first one up. Developed and implemented a customer manual that reduced customer issues as well as increased sales and customer satisfaction. All right, good. Good start. You might want to pop a number in, Melissa. All right, you may want to pop a number in like 15%. All right, get those numbers if you can. Yeah. Remember, numbers pop. Believe it or not, when the eyeball, somebody's a human is reading, those numbers really stick out. Develop end-user manual resulting in 50% reduction in... Wait a second. My screen jumped. Bear with me. All right, co-authored customer-tailored user guide and training sessions for new system implementation, which resulted in a 50% reduction in customer issues and a 15% increase in sales. All right. Co-authored custom-tailored user training sessions for the new system. Oh, it's the same one. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Wait, a couple of these are redundant. I apologize. Reduced startup problems internally by writing a customer master instructional manual. Eliminated about 50% of the customer issues. Increased product sales of the new system by 15%. Another one, develop custom-tailored company-wide training that eliminated 50% of the customer issues and increased sales by 15%. Reduced startup problems and eliminated 50% of the customer issues. Provided customer manual and training. Good. These are all excellent. All right. You all will now become good resume writers. Well, here's a very simple one also. All right. There'd be a bullet mark, right? Increase product sales of the new system by 15% by creating a customer manual and training employees on the system implementation, which directly resulted in a significant increase in customer satisfaction. We all say the same thing. We say it differently, but we're getting our message across. It's not about our task. It's about the accomplishment, the result. All right. Any of you that might have a resume handy, look at your resume. All right. If there's an accomplishment that you would like to send to me, all right, on your own, all right, let me take a look at it and maybe share it with everybody. But let's get to you now. All right. These were our examples. Do you have one of your own? Are you proud of one of your actual accomplishment statements? Can we kind of improve upon it? So take a look at your resumes if you have one handy and send it over to me in the chat. All right, Vinay, can you put that into 2 sentences? All right, you sent me quite a bit. All right, but can you kind of put a lot of that into 1 or 2 sentences? And a lot of these are kind of, one here is where you wrote closure of projects well within the target margin of project margin savings of 25 to 50%, leading to a stretch double plus bonus as per the name of the company project bonus standards. Rewarded team for good work. All right, good. That's some good examples. All right, thank you, Vinay. All right, here we go. All right, quite a few of you are sending me some really good ones. Hang on. Here's a real simple one from Sherry. Increase market share by 20% year over year. The only thing I'd add to that is, how did you do it? All right. Tell me the process, how you increased market share. What did you do? All right. I'm glad you did it, but let me know how you did it. That's also important. All right, Thomas, a little bit too long. All right. Let me take a look at another one from Mary. Attained 100% of turnaround time goal for more than 12 months through implementation. Oops. Bear with me. As each of you are sending me your individuals, my screen jumps, so that's one of the reasons I kind of have to go back. I apologize. Attained 100% of turnaround time goal for more than 12 months through implementation of Six Sigma program, improved overall compliance from 53 to 98% within 8 months. Excellent, Mary. Excellent bullet mark. Excellent accomplishment statement. From Lisa, redesigned classroom training course to use internal activity, saving $300,000 in vendor costs. All right, good. All right. Now, a couple of you they're really long, all right, and they're almost paragraphs. And I really want you to sit with your consultant, those of you that are kind of really lengthy, because people aren't going to take the time to really read into your paragraphs. They have to be short. They have to be quick. All right, as an example, from Melissa, created fleet policy and program for North American affiliate, resulting in a $45,000 savings in the first year of implementation. All right, so these are all good. But those of you, I'm not going to read them. We just don't have the time. I wish I did. You're going to have to kind of consolidate. All right, bring them into a 1 or 2 sentence format. All right. Tanya just chatted me. Here's her question. Is it okay to have 1 or 2 statements for each position which contain numbers and results? It seems difficult to have results for every bullet. Tanya, thank you for saying that. All right, everybody listen up. Tanya brings up a very good point. Everything we do, all right, sometimes cannot, NOT, be quantitatively or qualitatively stated. All right? Just can't. All I'm asking you is to think about if you can do it. If you can't, don't worry about it. All right? Do not overthink this. How many of you have ever heard of the term analysis paralysis? You ever hear of that? Analysis paralysis? Yep. A whole bunch of you said, yep, yes I have, yep. Don't be paralyzed, all right, by overanalyzing this. That's really what we're saying. I want you to get the overall concept and just think. If you can, try. All right? That's all I'm saying. If you can, try. If you can't, don't fret. Don't lose any sleep over it. Some people make this a big deal. I'm not. I don't want you to make it a big deal. I just want you to be able to explain whenever you can what you've accomplished, your value. Now, here are a group of accomplishment statements, some samples, and just we'll take a look at them, and just to reinforce the concept. And as you see, some do and some do not actually have a number. Now, quantity, yes, they're going to have numbers. Develop a sales strategy. Now, that might be on a resume. All right, somebody might write on their resume, hey, I developed a sales strategy. Well, guess what? Let's ask ourselves, so what? Well, it directly increased the customer base by 20%. Developed a safety program. So what? Who cares? Well, it reduced accident fines by 15%. Productivity, automated a claim processing system. That's the task. What did it do? It reduced the turnaround time from 2 weeks to 2 days. Developed and introduced a unique product that was first in the marketplace. There's no number. All right? It was just first in the marketplace. That's fine. Completed the project ahead of schedule. Don't overthink it. All right? You could say completed the project not only ahead of schedule, but accomplished it in 50% less time. But we didn't. All right? So just complete it ahead of schedule might be fine. All right? Don't overthink it. Please, please, please. Quality. Successfully conducted a presentation for key stakeholders, resulting in, there's no number, overwhelming positive unsolicited feedback. All right? Hired new printing firm. Significantly improved the quality of quarterly marketing materials. Now, cost and revenue, you probably will wind up with numbers. Negotiate a contract to save the department over $500,000. So I'm not reading these all. Hold on a second, please. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had a little bit of a cough. So as you see, some do and some do not. All right? Please remember, analysis paralysis. Don't get hung up. In CRN, there's a SOAR story builder. If you'd like to use it, be my guest. If you don't want to use it, you're not going to insult me, all right? But you can actually do it this way. Fill in the blanks. What situations were you faced with? What obstacles did you possibly have to overcome? What actions did you take? And finally, of course, the result. What were the results you helped obtain? If there were any, or not. Some next steps. Work with the system. Work with the concept. Utilize the SOAR technique to work on and develop your stories and your powerful statements on your resume initially. You like the idea, I hope, about that master list of accomplishments? Work it. Do it. Put it together. And then copy and paste all your bullet marks, all your bullets on it, and then you'll be able to manipulate and create various versions of your resume. Once everything is in writing, it's now about talking about them. So generate a library. We do generally recommend maybe 35 or 40. That's up to you, depending on how many accomplishments you're going to be sharing initially in writing. But generate a library of source stories for the interview. Step number 2, right? Prepare to relate the story behind every accomplishment. You already see the accomplishment on the resume. Now it's up to you to make a story behind it. All right, 2 steps, right? Write it out and then talk about it. There are 4 related webinars, including, of course, personal branding. Personal branding is defined as how you differentiate yourself from others that may be like you. Communication strategy, all about why you left your former company, the statement, and tell me about yourself. Changing careers. Some of you may have been there, done that. You've worked for a company for 20, 25 years doing something. Maybe you want to do something different. Not only do something different, but do it somewhere else. Maybe a different industry. And finally, resume essentials. You want to be able to create a resume that grabs their attention, that you have bullet marks, accomplishment statements that get you the phone call, that get you the interview. So these 4 related webinars, today is what, Wednesday, hump day, as they say. So sometime between now and maybe the end of the week, you should be able to register and sign in. I know these classes are open, so please try and get in either tomorrow or Friday, if not Monday or Tuesday of next week. So please take these related webinars ASAP. Now, at the very beginning, if you remember, I hope you do, I mentioned that you'll be able to save a copy of the slides in a PDF format. There are 27 slides in one document. So what you can do, and everybody do it, we're going to do it together, all right? Go in the upper left-hand corner of your computer screen monitor. You see the word file. All right, go up there, and then click on it, all right? Click on the word file, and then select Save As. And then after you do select Save As, click on Document. And Melissa, I'll get with you in a moment. And then you're going to save it, and the file name will be Creating Powerful Accomplishment Statements. You'll see it. Now, you have 2 options. The first option will not work. That's called the UCF. Notice I put an X over it, so I'd like you to select PDF. All right, change it from UCF to PDF. There's a drop-down arrow mark. And after you do that, click Save. And the slides in a PDF format will automatically download to your computer for you to keep and have forever and ever. All right, everybody work on that now. And after you've completed it, downloaded it, send me a chat in the chat box and verify you were able to do it. All right, good. Melissa, it doesn't really matter how big or small the project would be, as long as you can identify what your actual accomplishment was, the benefit behind it. So it doesn't matter how big or small. All right. All right, Lisa. All right, Lisa just chatted me that the template that we showed is different than what you downloaded. Let me go back. Is this what looks different, Lisa? I don't know what you where did you download it from, or what? Where you got it? I'm not sure. They've made some changes in CRN, and sometimes they don't let us know. All right, I'll check it out. All right, I'll check it out just to double check. All right, Grace wants to know, is there a strategy to write source stories with keywords that pass the ATS? Grace, that's a good question. You need to think, all right, Grace and everybody, ATS are known as automatic tracking systems. Many companies use these to scan resumes. A company will enter into their side of the system the keywords. It's up to you to figure out what those keywords are. Once you've figured out what the keywords are, Grace, then you put those keywords into your accomplishment statement, into your bullets. All right? You have to think like they think. All right? And one of the ways you can really understand how they think is to take a look at the job description and read it and see what they're looking for. The job description will give you lots of hints on what words the ATS systems are tracking. You with me on that, Grace? Make sense? Yeah, it's a good clue. The job description, get a highlighter, highlight the keywords, and I guarantee those keywords in the job description are the keywords they're looking for on your resume. So those are the keywords that's actually implanted into the software. All right. So it looks like so far everybody was able to download. All right. Keep things simple, Grace. You can't go wrong. Yeah, keep it simple. I'm a believer in less is more. How many of you ever heard of that? I really believe less is more. If people want to know more, they're going to ask. KISS, keep it simple. All right, guys, thank you. All right, thank you for joining me today and joining us here, especially those of you on the East Coast It's kind of late in the day. For those of you out west, it's still mid-afternoon. So I want to wish everybody great success with your job search. And seriously, I hope to see everybody on another webinar of mine in the very near future. Everybody that's here is marked attended, so your consultant coaches will know that you were attended the webinar. I'll be sending out a brief webinar eval email survey in a moment. Please take it. Not only do we value your feedback, I do too. I do look at every line of every webinar. So as a closing statement, I just want to say thank you one more time. You got 2 more days this week. Start working with your consultant, your branding specialist, to make sure your accomplishment statement bullets talk of your value. And think SOAR. You'll be fine. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a great afternoon, and best of luck. We'll see you hopefully on another webinar in the near future.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does fly fast. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah. Thank you again.
Peter?
Bye-bye. Yes.
Oh, hi. Sorry, this is Tracy. I was wondering, is there any way you can email me the presentation? Because I actually can't save it on my tablet.
All right. You said Tracy, correct?
Yeah.
Let me find you on my list. Your last name begins with an L?
Correct.
All right. I'll probably send it either late tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. Would that be all right?
Oh, sure. No rush.
All right. No problem. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
No
Bye-bye.
problem. All right. And Danielle, I have you there. Now, where are you? Robin, are you still with us? Robin, are you still there? All right. What would you like feedback on? I just want to double check because I discussed so much. All
Sorry.
right, here we go. I found you now. I got you, Robin. You want to know what would be no problem. What would be a better way to say the statement below? Developed, educated, supervised, and supported 20-plus RUP Jesuit high school students in their work-study program at CHI to better understand the foundations of our mission and values, as well as their own site, blah, 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 blah. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot, I know.
Yeah.
So for the quantitative and qualitative, of course, each of these students, after they finish the program, receive a scholarship to college. So I'll work on it and try to condense it down. But
let me think with you for a moment. Hang in there. I'm not leaving you. I'm not going to let you hang. All right. Say each of the students. So would you say 100% of the students?
Yes, 100%.
All right. That could be that could be part of it, right? 100% of the students receive. All right. What you did is you developed, you worked, you educated. This helped them, and as a result, 100% of the students. To me, the end would be as a result, 100% of the students received a scholarship to a specific college. That would be the way I would end the accomplishment bullet. All right, I would say as a result, or resulting in 100% of the students, et cetera, et cetera. You see where I'm going?
Yes. I was trying to get that quantitative and qualitative piece down, so that helps me.
I would do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as a result, or resulting in 100% of the students receiving a scholarship to a specific college, or maybe how about to their college of their choice? Whichever way.
I like that. College of their choice. Okay, wonderful.
You like that? All right.
Yes, I love it. Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Okay,
see you later.
Bye now.
Bye, Robin. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks.